Y'all tried to write my coach off, and he came out and showed all y'all what real Ohio football is all about against an SEC team. That's why I'll always be Ryan Day's strongest soldier. Okay, listen.
And that's
My
fair.
no, yeah, you're absolutely it's fair. Let me ask you this question though, and I'm not trying to nail you to the wall. I need to know, DOT. I need to know how many in a row until you say unacceptable against the team up north. Where are you at? Is there a number? Is it 5? Is it 6? Does that number change based off winning a national championship?
Is he
Where are you at on that?
is 2-10-11 or 2-10-1 okay?
Yeah. Is it? Do you wait till you get the exact same record as Cooper? Like I need to know where you're at in that mindset because if you ask Chris, is it 3 in a row, Chris, that you're like I'm done? I think it was 3,
Well,
wasn't
it
it?
was yeah, it was last year I was ready to be done.
Okay. I mean, here's where I'm at. Here's where I'm at, brother. I went into that game, and maybe this is my fault. And if this is my fault as an Ohio State fan, then help me understand why I shouldn't have felt this way. I went in to that game against that team up north thinking we had the W. We were going to win this
It's
game.
unacceptable that we didn't. There's no reason we shouldn't have.
And when we took our fourth consecutive L, walking out of that stadium, brother, I for the first time in my fandom felt so defeated, so hurt. Like I took that loss. That was the hardest loss I have ever taken as a fan. And whether that's fair or unfair to place that emotion I had on the head coach, that's what I did. Now, I've reflected on that emotion and feeling I've had since then, and I've had some conversations with former Buckeyes who've helped put me in my place and other fans who've said, "Hey, we're still in this thing. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps and let's get to the playoff and support this team." But and I'm there now, yes. But at that moment, can you at least understand why I was to the point where I was like, I'm done with Ryan Day?
Okay, Speed, I got to throw this out there. The cheating scandal means nothing at this point. It means nothing at this point because let me tell you, they should have won last year. They had the ability to do it. They should have won this year. The cheating was not going on in either of those games. And yes, they had the playbook last year, but the cheating was not actively going on last year. They didn't have any cheating going on this year. Cheating is out the door. Cheating is no longer an excuse.
That is a great question. I have no idea. I don't know how to answer this question.
I
I'm
saw
just
that. Is
gonna,
that the one from Lori?
yeah, it's a great question. I have no idea how to answer this question.
But you know, I
Let me
don't
ask
think
this
so.
question. Go to the beginning of this season. Give Day Indiana's team as it is now. Does Day get to the playoffs? Chat, what do you think?
I
Let
don't
me
think
let me let
so.
me ask the chat. I mean, it's a hypothetical, so there's no right or wrong answer here. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, I would like to think that Ryan Day schematically, offensively, is better than most of the people he goes up against. But as a head coach, you're not in the trenches scheming every
Correct.
single day. You're overseeing everything now, right? And I think Ryan Day is learning that. DOT says yes with the same schedule. Fair. I think
See,
that's fair.
that's a fair comment. I don't have that confidence in him to lead without. I think a lot of Ryan Day's victories, based on what I've seen in his coaching of big games to this point, I think a lot of Ryan Day's victories come down to the fact that he's got the superior athletes and the superior team. He's got the superior talent.
I've been Dawn. Is it Dawn? I can't see it. Dawn. That is a question I have asked myself, and I've refused to answer it.
What is it?
If Ryan wins the title, how many more chances does he get against the team up north? You're going to
One.
say one.
One. I would fire a national championship winning coach if he lost to Michigan again. Absolutely.
See, I can't get there. I can't do it in one. If you win a national championship, I can't do that.
Yeah, winning a national championship is great, but you know what? If you can't beat that team up north, you have no business being the coach at Ohio State.
DOT, y'all spitting facts. I understand where y'all coming from. Thank you, man. Um, I'm not trying to be, and I've gotten. Listen, you would if you were to go back and you watch those first few videos after we lose that game against the team up north, and Chris and I were out here emotionally, expressing where we were at, along with Corey. And you would go read some of the comments we got from the fan base. Some people said, I'm 100% with you. And some people were like, you guys aren't true fans. How dare you take away your platform, etc. Like the fan base was completely divided down the middle. And I get it. I get it, man. I understand. Um, I think if you win a national championship, what happens against the team up north becomes irrelevant next year. And here's Chris, here's why. I think right now, inside that Woody Hayes Athletic Center, they're taking the NFL approach.
And I agree that that's what they're doing. Does that make it right? No.
Now the former
You've
players,
you've scrapped you have scrapped the history of OSU football the minute you do that. You have,
Steely is 100% right. This is the approach they're taking, Chris. They don't
and
hang banners
I
for beating
don't
the team up
disagree
north.
with what you're saying, Steely, or with what you're saying, Eric. Yes, natties matter. Natties are great. Yes, that's the ultimate goal is to win a natty. But you know what? If you don't beat that team up north, you have got no business being the coach at the Ohio State University. For all intents and purposes, if you can't beat that team up north, to say it doesn't matter is ridiculous. To say it doesn't matter is basically like taking a crap on Woody Hayes' headstone. That's what you are
Jeez,
doing. That's what you are
Chris.
doing by saying that that game does not matter. You are taking a crap on Woody Hayes, on Jim Tressel, on Urban Meyer. If you disregard that game and the importance of that game, you are saying, screw all you guys. It doesn't matter.
Gosh, this is so deep, dude. This is so deep. I'm reading the chat and the stuff that the chat's talking about. And Brian, good to see you, Brian Kelly's caddy. I'm glad you're here, man. Notre Dame fan. I've been critical of Ryan Day's beard since he's been dyeing it with just for men. Um, this is something I think you as Notre Dame fans would never understand, and it and it's and I'm sorry, you can't compare your rivalry to USC to what we have with that team up north because you guys count Miami as a rival, you count Florida State as a rival, you count Boston College as a rival, Stanford as a rival, the team up north as a rival, Michigan State as a rival, Purdue as a rival. Heck, you even call us a rival. We've only played like what 8 times I think in the history of the entire two schools in 100+ years. But this is why you guys will never understand this. You don't have that one game. And I know you're going to say USC's
And,
that game. It's not comparable. It isn't.
and Mello, I love you, Mello. Love you, Devin. You guys are awesome. But you're wrong here to compare Auburn, Alabama to Ohio State, Michigan. It's just not the same.
It's the closest
It's
thing I think
just not.
there is.
There's nothing close, Eric. There's
In
nothing
college
close to this rivalry.
in college
Nothing.
football, in college football, it's the closest thing there is in college football to this.
And it's
You
still miles away.
sure. Sure. Sure.
And you know, to just disregard the importance of the rivalry is just pissing on the history of Ohio State football.
Tyler. Exactly. Tyler nailed it. Dude, these two states literally went to war with each other. We almost had a second civil war in our country between Michigan and Ohio. And for all things, it was over Toledo.
And honestly, if you've been to Toledo recently, I'd probably give it to them anyhow.
Oh, dude, this is an amazing conversation. I wasn't preparing to go here. DOT, I'm blaming you for this conversation. Great. This is great, man. He says Duke, North Carolina basketball is the only thing that even comes close. That's because you're not as big of a basketball fan. You go to Tobacco Road, dude. Those guys take it serious. I've heard Yankees, Boston Red Sox is comparable to some people think.
Okay, here we go. The ab tanker here. I got to address this. Am I saying that that's okay? No, it's not okay to not ever get to a natty. But am I saying that it's okay to win natties without beating that team up north? Hell no, absolutely not. I would, to me, and I understand it's not the same way in the game anymore, but the fact is that game is the most important game on your schedule every single year. No exception, ever. And if you ask me what is more important this year, that game versus that team up north or the national championship game, in my heart, it's still going to be that game up north against the team up north. I want to see him win the national title. But again, Ryan Day, his own expectations, he can't complete those if he doesn't win that game. He just can't. Can't be done.
Ryan, Devin, I agree with you in Mello, and I know Chris and I are going to think a little bit different here because I'm looking at this thing big picture. Never forget, I go back and listen to Ryan Day's introductory press conference. That'll tell you your answer. He himself told you what the expectations
He
of this
set
job
the
is.
expectations.
Now, was that him talking or was that Urban Meyer talking? The
Words
answer
came
to
out
that
of his
question,
mouth.
the answer to that question is yes.